Dynamic Wit Comedy Podcast. Thank you for listening. My name is Chase. This is my podcast where I talk about anything that involves real life and usually try and relate it back to stand-up comedy or just something funny in general. Just sharing the way I see the world and views maybe will help inspire you to see something from a different angle and give you a chance to kind of see humor in ways maybe you didn't see it before, or maybe you did, and it's something we have in common, that we just see things a certain way. Because laughing at something often is a source of taking power over that thing. Now, I'll say this. This is an episode where it's going to be tough to be funny. In fact, I'm not even going to try to be funny. And you'll understand why as we go. But I do feel like what I'm sharing today is an important message. I'm going to start by reading something that I posted, part of something that I posted, I guess on Saturday is when I would have posted this. I posted a statement where I just said, people say that comedians are damaged, that we are the sad-faced clown hiding behind humor to help block us from painful feelings. And though I cannot discredit that statement, I will say this. Despite whatever toxicity, whatever that word is, toxic things, whatever, or trauma we comedians hide behind, there is not a stronger community that rallies when one of us is hurting. I'm going to stop right there from what I posted. So let's talk about that for a minute. Yeah. The whole concept of comedy is just tragedy plus time. It gets hashed home a lot. And then you think of some amazing comedians like Richard Pryor, lit himself on fire trying to kill himself. Robin Williams hung himself. Greg Giraldo overdosed on pain pills and antidepressants. Norm Macdonald had cancer for 9 years, didn't tell a single soul. He battled that alone. So there's nothing I can say to discredit the notion that comedy does come from a lot of pain, and that any individual who gets on stage and says, look at me and listen to me make you laugh, probably has some sort of emotional or psychological thing that they don't know necessarily how to deal with. And sometimes you figure it out on stage, but mostly you're going to figure that out in therapy. But you go on stage because you start building this life around making other people laugh and feel happiness, which in turn brings you joy, because even if it's for just 3 minutes at a time, the people in your audience that are laughing aren't feeling whatever pain or sorrow or trauma or whatever it is that they're going through. So when it comes to someone feeling pain, even though comedians might be toxic and sound heartless and make awful jokes, we also understand that when we see one of our own comedians or someone we love going through it, I don't think there's anyone who empathizes more with that person than a comedian. Because what we see when we see pain on someone else's face is we're seeing something that's inside of us that maybe we haven't really figured out how to deal with. Not everyone, but a lot of us comedians are that way. And it most certainly goes beyond stand-up comedians, I'm sure. I'm speaking from my experience and what I know best. So what brought this on is on Friday night, my daughter woke up at about 2 in the morning. So I guess it was early Saturday morning. And I went downstairs at about 4 a.m. and I had received a message informing me that Rodney Norman, who you have heard me talk about on this podcast, and you've heard me talk about this several times. I've got to open for him, what a professional he is and everything like that. His daughter, who I believe was 27, 28, something like that, had passed away from cancer just a couple hours before. And you sit back and you are devastated for this person who, I've worked with him. I've come to love him. He's a distant relative. I've met Rodney Norman 8 years ago in the back room of an open mic at a comedy club. And he has never been anything but super kind and super supportive to me, even when he was on such a level that he really didn't even have to give me the time of day. And he is the most nice, supportive human being you can think of on the planet. He doesn't take himself too seriously. He's always thinking of other people. And so when he releases a video talking about his daughter passing away, and all you can see is love in his eyes, but tears of pain and sorrow. And this is someone who makes videos daily trying to make the world laugh and make fun of just the mundane, stupid stuff the media shoves down our throats every single day. And now he's the one who's experiencing pain, not caused by media, not caused by elections, not caused by getting offended, not caused by anyone's agenda. It's just something in life that happens where people get sick, and sometimes it takes a turn for the worse, and in this case it did. And so I found myself watching that video, trying not to cry myself, because everyone's experience is different with death, but I've had people close to me die. I joke on stage for 6 minutes sometimes about my mom dying when I was 16 years old. And I'm at a place where I can do that because it's been 21, almost 22 years, and I'm in a place where I can see humor in it, and I've dealt with what I've needed to deal with to get to that point. Seeing Rodney's face just hours after losing a daughter brings all those emotions and that pain back. And I'm not making this about me. I'm not even making this really about Rodney. I'm making this about the immediate love and affection that his followers were sending him, his co-comedians were sending him. So many people rallied around this person. And Rodney's not someone who's going to hide behind his pain. He's a very open and honest person, and he doesn't care at all what you think of his hair, of his beard, of his humor, of whatever. He certainly isn't going to care if you see him cry. He might be the most genuine person I've ever seen walk the earth. What I'm getting at is, maybe there's some damaged people in the world who haven't dealt with the stuff that they probably need to deal with in the way they need to do it. But that's none of your business to tell them how to do it. Because there's going to be a day where you are going to experience some sort of pain, some sort of loss, some sort of anguish that some comedian somewhere knows exactly how you're feeling. And maybe they have jokes about it that'll help you, maybe not. But you'll have a champion in the room. And you don't have to do this alone. Lots of people were donating to Rodney's, someone posted a thing to raise money to help with funeral expenses. They were trying to raise $15,000. They had raised like $13,000 in the first 10 hours. People are rallying around Rodney. You don't have to suffer alone. And if you choose to suffer in silence, I understand that. And I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for that. But you don't have to suffer alone. So even though this is a little bit more of a somber episode of this episode, I think it was an important one. And it's also important to know that we will laugh again. Our energy will be up. If I know Rodney, he'll take some time and he'll be up on stage. He'll be making videos. He's going to be honest. He's going to have moments of grief. He's going to have videos that might open up to who he is inside, and we see the pain a little bit. But he's going to make us laugh, and we're going to make him laugh, and we're going to hug him, and we're going to embrace him and support him, because if it was my daughter or your daughter or my mom or your mom, he would be the first one to want to reach out and help console. So I wish it was that loud motorcycle that lives across the street from me you can hear in the background. Too bad it wasn't him. Okay, that was dark. Anyways, I love you guys. Comedians love you guys. And I'm going to finish reading that post, the rest of it, and just remind you that comedians love. We base our life around making others feel happy and feel laughter, even if it's only for 3 minutes at a time. Whatever your pain or your struggle is today, the stand-up community loves you, and we are cheering for you.